An Evening at the Movies is a proud member of the I Did Not Make These Rankings podcast network. Other shows in the network include Masturbators, The Sip List, Crushgasm, Love is Black, Men Are the Prize, Crime Rewind, and Literature Reapers. You can find out all about our shows and more at idnmtrpodcastnetwork.com. Happy listening. You are now entering the world of a movie review. A world full of drama, joy, ridicule, movie spoilers, unpopular opinions, and adult humor for as far as the eye can see. Welcome to An Evening at the Movies.
For some reason, it still will not let me adjust the privacy settings.
What?
So I have no clue.
On Facebook?
Pin post. Pin
That's
post,
weird.
save video, edit post, move to trash, turn on notifications, copy link, hide from profile, share partnership, add code. Oh well. But greetings, everybody, though. Welcome to An Evening at the Movies, the podcast where we eat the stale popcorn, we drink the watered down sodas, and we talk about all of our favorite movies and why we love them. It is Classic Hollywood Month, but before we get into discussing the Classic Hollywood, everybody say hello to favorite co-hostess with the mostest. Hi, co-hostess.
Hello. Are you sure you posted it to Facebook? Because it doesn't show that you're live and I don't see the post. And I should be able to see it because we're friends on Facebook. Oh, I don't know. It's not showing up on my end. Weird.
Well, that's just freaking stupid. I'm gonna try and
See? It doesn't say live on mine. But anyway, what's up? I'm here.
Oh.
Another day of Karen Reed 2.0 verdict watch. Another day of no verdict. It's getting frustrating. I think it's going to be a hung jury again. And how many times is this woman going to have to go through this? It's ridiculous.
Hopefully none.
I mean, unless they get a mistrial with prejudice, which the defense has tried to get and haven't been able to, if it's just a regular mistrial, they'll try her again. And at this point, I don't know how you find a jury that... I feel like you would have to do a change of venue, and even that would be like highly unlikely.
Pushing your... Yeah. So,
what they got to do is remove the corrupt
I don't
judge.
know if well, that would be the easy thing to do. And just so you know, I did send you the link in Messenger.
Okay.
So if you wanted to try and post it that way on your page, then...
Oh.
But
says this content isn't available right now. You did something weird, but don't worry about it.
It is what it is. So, Classic Hollywood Month, but also a very special message needs to be sent out on today of all days, because somebody who is not with us, because he is in the witness protection program, is a year older today. So I would like to send out a very happy birthday to everybody's favorite Chancy Gripe. Happy birthday, Chancy Pants. We miss you. And we hope you can bring your happy ass back as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
So,
what set can't be that much fun? Come on. We need you back.
Oh, Lord. CNN halts broadcast for breaking news that favors Donald Trump. Oh, Jesus God.
Well, what now?
I don't think I want to know.
I'm sure he's throwing a temper tantrum about something because his little commandeering of the army's birthday for his birthday did not go as planned. So
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
sure he's
know
in a bad mood.
how legitimate it is, but I saw TikToks about his parade
Yeah.
honoring the military, where like nobody was freaking there.
Yeah, because it was a parade honoring him, not the
So
military. Like, let's be so fucking for real with all these people saying it's not for his birthday. He didn't do this for his birthday. Okay, are we getting a parade for the Navy's birthday and for the Marines' birthday and for the Air Force's birthday? No, we're fucking not. He chose to use the army as a facade to celebrate his own birthday. Put pictures of himself all over buildings all over the place. Like nobody's fooled. Give me a break.
hence the reason why everybody opted to have no king protests on
Yeah.
his birthday because it was all about him.
And this rant
But
was brought to you by an army brat who would very lovingly celebrate the army's birthday. So, cheers.
well, and I don't think that the person who is responsible for you being an army brat would care that you're bashing on
No.
El Dictator. That's why I added the tater. So, but yes, happy
We took
birthday,
you from
Chansey.
Dick.
Wherever you are, we miss you, and
Happy birthday.
we know that you will be back eventually. And there will be plenty
We'll
of
celebrate
shenanigans
more.
once you are back with us. So, even to the effect that um, there will be a birthday episode whenever you return to us that one of us will be here for and the other one will not, because um, you may or may
Oh,
not have sent messages from your hiding place about the movie that you want to discuss for your birthday and is not a fan.
I'll hop on for the
So,
beginning, but yeah, I'm not watching that movie. I mean, I could stick around for the review and just make fun of it, but I'm not watching it again. I already got tricked into watching it once. No
number
Terrifier
three,
for me, thanks. Oh, no, just the first one. Okay, well, whatever.
yeah. Spoiler alert for the first one. That was probably the most uncomfortable horror movie I've ever seen in my entire lifetime. And I've seen I Spit on Your Grave.
Ooh, I think I Spit on Your Grave is more uncomfortable than that movie, but yeah, it's bad. Hey, I'll come for the birthday party and I'll stay for the mockery. I'm just not
I'm
watching.
not trying to watch hookers getting hung. I am not trying to watch movies about hookers being hung upside down and cut in half long way with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
No,
I
thank you.
mean,
And it's not
Jason cut
even
a guy in half from the
Spielberg.
dick up to his head with a machete, so
Yeah, but that was more
oh, I know.
cheesy, campy 80s slasher horror. That upside down hooker in Terrifier 1
No thanks.
could seriously, legitimately happen. And I'm not. Mm, I'll watch the Terrifier movies, and I don't necessarily have a problem with them, but there's definitely a level of uncomfort that comes with watching said movies. So,
Nope, no clowns for me, thanks. Except for Pennywise and the Killer
except,
Clowns, because I agreed to that.
yes, spoiler alert, coming soon in October. we will be discussing the killer clowns from outer space. And they're talk about cheesy freaking 80s horror deaths. Ooh, let's wrap you up in cotton candy and have clowns suck the blood out of the cocoon, the cotton candy cocoon.
That's so disgusting.
Jesus, fix it. It is not a horror movie of the month today. And the fact that we're spending this much time discussing horror movies for this episode, this movie that we're supposed to be discussing, not appropriate.
Yeah.
Although, um, so, um, yes, week 3, classic Hollywood month. We've talked about some Marilyn Monroe. We talked about what in the actual fuck did we
Sexy
talk about last
foxes.
week?
Sexy
Oh,
cartoon
that's
foxes.
right. Robin Hood.
Arr.
We've got another live episode tomorrow where we'll talk about some universal monsters or a universal monster. No plural nouns. And then we will be talking this movie today. And we are talking about a old school classic from the mouse himself, Mary Poppins, because a spoonful of sugar does help the medicine go down.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Exactly.
I actually hashtagged the update that will be starting at 2 o'clock ish with hashtag supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Shut the fuck up. I
Because I
am
was
not going to type all that out. Oh, I believe you. I'm just like,
hashtag
okay.
supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. So I must switch back over really quick to the interwebs because we need to know that Mary Poppins released on August 27th, 1964. This movie is that old. Jesus,
Apparently.
fix it. It was directed by Robert Stevenson. Obviously, it is a Disney movie. It had a budget of 4.4 to $6 million and had a whopping box office of $103.1 million.
Fuck.
So, spoiler alert: in 1964, that was a lot of fucking money.
It's a lot of fucking money now.
True, which makes it even more impressive when you translate it back to 1964 dollars. If you have not seen the Poppins, um, one, where the hell have you been? Because you should have at least seen it once in your childhood.
Yeah.
Everybody should see this movie at least once in their childhood. I don't care who you are, but um, shame on you if you haven't. And it is available to stream on the Disney Plus. So you can hit pause here and come back and finish this episode. But you can go find it on the Disney Plus. And
I mean, there's nothing crazy to spoil. It's it's a
no,
fairly
it's
predictable movie as far as plot goes.
yeah, there really isn't a whole lot surprising about this movie, especially when you chalk it up to today's standards and everybody's knowledge of storytelling and movies and all of that. So, but before our awesome co-host tells us what this movie is about, Awesome co-host. Would you like to wager a guess as to what the two Rotten Tomato scores are for this movie?
I would, but before I do that, I'm introducing something new to tack on to the end of you introducing the movie, and that is talking about awards for the movie. So, not depending on the movie, we'll discuss what awards may or may not apply. But for this one, we obviously know Oscars are going to apply. So, Mary Poppins was nominated for 13 Academy Awards, and it won five. Julie Andrews won for Best Actress. It won Best Original Score, Best Original Song for the Chimchurri song, Chimmery, whatever.
Chim
um,
chimney chimmery chimchery.
exactly that one, the Chimichurri song. And then it won for Best Film Editing and Best Visual Effects, which I will be discussing at some point. So there you go. Um, Rotten Tomatoes.
It did.
So
It did not. Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke did not win acting awards.
Julie Andrews did. I said she won for
Oh,
Best Actress. Yeah. Dick Van Dyke
oh,
did not,
my bad.
which is a shame.
I
But
got the spinning circle of death on my window, and you
ah,
were frozen.
that was the first one I said.
So
Yeah.
I was, I could see maybe Dick Van Dyke not winning one, but Julie Andrews not winning for this would have been a huge fucking travesty. Just saying.
Oh, Sidney Poitier won that year for Lilies of the Field.
Uh,
Dick Van Dyke wasn't even nominated. So there you go.
that kind of surprises me.
But he was up against Rex Harrison for Cleopatra, Paul Newman, Albert Finney, Richard Harris. So I mean, I don't know that against Sidney Poitier, I don't know that many people are going to beat him. So,
Well, you look at who those other names were you just listed. They didn't beat him either,
right.
and those are iconic cinematic performances by an actor.
I mean, it's fucking Paul Newman.
Yeah.
Oh,
For those of you who don't know, that yes, that is the popcorn guy and the salad dressing guy.
what popcorn guy? Paul Newman has popcorn?
Newman's own popcorn and salad
Oh.
dressing.
I know about the salad dressing. I did not know about the popcorn, but I'm an Orville Redenbacher
Yes,
gal. So, what are you going to do? It's that or Jiffy Pop.
that's right. Eats the stale Orville Redenbacher.
Yeah. All right. So Rotten Tomatoes, I feel fairly confident because this movie is so beloved and is such a classic that the ratings are going to be high. Um, I've got some criticisms of it, but even with that, I mean, it's still, I don't know. I think tomato meter is going to be, I'm going to go with 88%. Popcorn meter, I'm going to go 95%. Am I overly slutty or am I close? Why?
Flip flop.
Oh, the critics liked it better than the audience? Interesting.
Yes. 250 members of the audience, or 250,000 plus members of the audience, gave it a 86%.
Ooh, okay, I was close. Covered the spread, as Chansey would say.
Yeah, well, it's his birthday, so I guess you can cover the spread. And on 56 reviews, the critics gave it a 97%.
Wow. Oh, I was two off on each one. Okay.
That's why I basically gave the flip flop finger gesture.
Yeah, I mean, if I had
'Cause-
flip flopped them, I would have been two off. Yeah,
yeah, well, yeah, and 2%, as everybody's favorite Chancy Pants would say, is covering the spread.
definitely.
So
All right.
Yay! Good job, co-host.
Well, thanks.
Golf clap.
All right. So, Mary Poppins. Um, very simple premise, but um, when okay, here we go. When Jane and Michael, the children of the wealthy and uptight Banks family, are faced with the prospect of a new nanny, they are pleasantly surprised by the arrival of the magical Mary Poppins. Embarking on a series of fantastical adventures with Mary and her Cockney performer best friend Bert, the siblings try to pass on some of their nanny's sunny attitude to their preoccupied parents. So there you go.
And that is Mary Poppins in a nutshell.
I was gonna say that, and then I was gonna do the Mike Myers SNL thing where he's like, "This is me
I'm
in a
in a nutshell.
nutshell," or wait, maybe that's Austin Powers. Yeah, either way, it's Mike
I,
Myers. This is me in a nutshell.
oh yeah, it is Austin Powers.
Yeah,
I don't remember which one, but it is.
yeah, it's one of them.
So, um,
It's not Gold Member because I
no
have watched that recently in preparation for our um, review of Goldfinger.
Goldfinger.
Gold Member, Gold Member. Okay, wrong movie, but all right. So Mary Poppins.
So the first question I have, and I'm actually curious to know what your opinion on this question would be, but to you,
Okay.
why is this movie such a respected and classic movie?
So I have to start off by saying this isn't one of the movies I grew up loving. I don't know why. I don't I know I saw it as a kid and I saw clips of it here and there when it was on TV, but it just wasn't one of those movies that our parents showed us and we wanted to watch it all the time. It just, but I know it is for
Halloween.
so many people. What?
Halloween.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, my mom was showing me horror movies, not Mary Poppins. Um but I know it is beloved by so many people and I think that's deserved. I mean, it's very whimsical and romantic and adventurous and fun for little kids. Um I mean, everybody wants who doesn't want a magic nanny, you know? And I think despite it being cheesy and of its time, it still holds up. There's not really anything about it that hasn't, aged particularly well. Um, it's nice to see, pre-war England and, what that was like and what life was like for people. Um, I don't know. I mean, I think it's a really fun movie for kids and especially people our age and even a little older grew up watching it and you know, I
Well, like,
didn't, but I can see why people would have that love and nostalgia for it, you know.
well, part of it too. I mean, the whole aspect of the adventures that she and the kids go on, like jumping through the chalk art
Mhm.
and getting to go horseback riding through the countryside on a merry-go-round horse and dancing with penguins and
Right.
singing songs about words that I still have problems pronouncing
You
and all of that. And
can't
then,
say chimichurri. Just kidding.
yes, and then, you follow that up with, getting to have a tea party with somebody on the freaking ceiling while you're floating in the air.
Right.
I mean, it's fun little, you know, exciting things that can help fascinate a child and get them to actually sit through what at the time was an incredibly long freaking movie.
For
I mean,
real.
this movie is, and I'm not complaining at all because to me, as a 48-year-old adult, this movie is 2.5 hours long, and it doesn't even feel like when once the movie starts, and then once they go off flying a kite at the end of the movie, it doesn't feel like it's been no 2.5 hours.
It did to me.
That's because you were raised as a child on Michael Myers.
That's fair. It does not hold the same whimsy and nostalgia for me that it does for others. So I will be reviewing it through that lens, but I also can appreciate why people who love it like they do. Like I can appreciate that even though I'm not one of those people. Like I get it. Um and I really love, I feel like, I mean, this movie walked and really it ran, but so that Who Framed Roger Rabbit could run even farther because the mix of live action and animation is
Oh
hard
yeah.
to pull off. And I mean, Roger Rabbit, in my opinion, does it 20 times better, but that's also because of technology. I think, given it being 1964, the green screen effects are really bad. But for 1964, that shit was fucking amazing. And when you
Oh,
think about
absolutely.
technology then and watching that, you're watching real people interact with cartoon characters. Like that's pretty fucking cool. Not to mention all the other magical stuff that's happening. Um, I also definitely think there's a direct correlation from the laughing tea party and the guy that can't stop laughing to the laughing hyenas in Roger Rabbit. You laugh yourselves to death, which is what happens to the bank guy. He laughs himself to death.
Yeah.
Uh,
I and spoiler alert: the old banker dude that runs the bank is also played by one Mr. Dick Van Dyke, who, for those of you who have not seen the movie Uncultured Swine, is the one who plays Mary Poppins' best friend and Cockney sidekick Bert.
I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
So really good makeup effects on aging him,
Mm-hmm.
because if you compare how he looks when he's Bert to how he looks as the bank president, yeah,
Eddie
I
Murphy
did.
style. Coming to
Yeah,
America.
I didn't even realize it until I was probably junior high, high school age, and saw this movie. Besides the fact that when they roll the credits at the end, they put
Oh.
and playing the banker, and they scramble up his name, and then all of a sudden they unscramble the letters and it spells out Dick Van Dyke, and then it makes perfect sense because once you know when you look at him, you're like, aha,
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I see it
I'll have to
now.
I'll have to go back and look now because I had no idea about that. That's pretty cool.
Eh, On top, he's not really in that much of the movie, but aha. Shout out to Chancey on his birthday for the aha.
You know, one thing that interests me about this movie and the storyline is, and I think it's a common theme, and not just in those times. I think with rich people, it can still be a common thing, but definitely back then, and probably definitely in Europe, people are so uninterested in being parents. Like, you have to have children because that's the status quo, but they're raised by nannies and going to boarding school. And like, these
Yep.
parents could not be less interested in what is going on with their children. And I get it, the dad's got this high powered job, but even when he's home, like he comes home and sings that song about how grand and simple his life is. I come home from work and the kids are ready for bed and my wife's got my slippers and my brandy or whatever. Like, that song infuriated me, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, but especially because the wife was just singing Sister Suffragette, talking about how she's
Mm-hmm.
pioneering, championing for
The
women to be
women's
able to
rights
vote.
movement.
Like, yeah. And then she completely dumbs herself down for her husband. That is probably the thing I hate the most about this movie. And I would hate that about any movie that's like that, just because it's like she's clearly a smart woman and she's championing women's rights. And then her husband comes home and she's like, maybe you should just interview for the nanny. I would just bumble the whole thing up. Like, what? But
So
yeah, this dad's clearly uninterested in being a dad, and all these kids want is for their dad to fly a fucking kite with them. Help me build a kite, dad. Like, poor little kids. No wonder they're acting out.
so if Jamie Lee Curtis acted like that in 1978, would you hate Halloween?
I don't hate no, I don't hate the movie. That I hate that particular aspect. And it-
Well,
probably,
then would you hate that aspect of Halloween?
yeah, but Jamie Lee wasn't dumbed down for the she didn't dumb herself down. She was playing a typical meek 17-year-old who doesn't know how to make good decisions, clearly, but she's also never been in a trauma situation.
Well,
This woman obviously dumbing herself down for her husband, like being demure
yeah.
and meek and wifely and subservient. Like, and that's all fine and good. That was, again, status quo. Like, I get it, but it's just like, it's weird to see someone who is clearly a powerful woman then turn around and be like, I don't know what to do.
Well, I'm not excusing it by any stretch of the imagination, but that's how society was back then.
No, I know. I get it. I just thought it was weird. Like, normally in movies like that, or you see that and that's how society was, but you don't, for them to give her the first, basically first song in the movie, and talking about women's power, and individually we love men, but we agree as a group that they're stupid, and just like all this stuff. Like, for me, it was weird to see her pivot from that to the wife that she was making herself out to be. So,
Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that.
like I'm saying, I get that's how it was. You just don't see a lot of movies where it. I don't. It's like, she has to know that she's doing that to be subservient to her husband and make him feel good. So,
I'm not gonna lie. I wish we could have had this discussion with our guest that was supposed to be with us on this episode.
yeah.
That would have been an interesting KCB as referee between the two of you.
No, I actually think Harvey would agree with me on that. Guess we could ask him and
More than
see.
likely, yes.
Or he would see the point I'm trying to make. Like, I'm not knocking the movie because of that. I'm just saying, as a way of portraying a character, it's interesting to see her flop roles like that so quickly.
Yes.
But my original point was that these people are not interested in being parents, and that was such a thing that it's like, I understand why people have kids and then have them raised by nannies and boarding schools, but that's what rich people did.
And on top of it, like the other servants in the house have
Mhm.
no desire at all to do anything with those kids because,
Yeah.
like, the first nanny quits and leaves, and the idea was, well, you can handle it, and like, oh no, the hell I can't.
No, fuck, I will not. Get your crotch goblins away from me. These kids are clearly a problem, but I don't blame them. They need an involved father. Like, come on, dad, step your game up a little.
So I, I mean, at the end of the day, I would say probably an involved mother as well.
Well, that's definitely
I mean,
true. Yeah. Both of
but
these people are not interested.
no, and that's one of those things that probably as an adult fascinates me the most about this movie is the fact that I remember growing up as a kid thinking that I didn't necessarily know as a kid what the word redemption meant. I
Yeah.
thought this was more of a redemption for Jane and Michael story where it's not even close to a redemption of Jane and Michael story. It's
Yeah, for
all
sure.
about the redemption of, well, there's a reason why the current Tom Hanks Disney movie was called Saving Mr. Banks,
Yeah.
because it's about saving him from being the asshole that he was and helping him become a better father so that Mary Poppins can feel happy about going off and flying off into the, I would say, sunset, but it's more semi cloudy, foggy day.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is he definitely it reminds me of It's a Wonderful Life sort of with like he's clearly having a George Bailey moment like, you know, oh,
Yes.
this is what life is really about and I still unfortunately at the end of the movie I was like I don't see this lasting. Mary Poppins is gone and the magic's going to go with her. I hope that's not true, but that was kind of the feeling I had.
So that actually kind of sort of stems into another question that I had that, again, I was hoping Harvey was going to be here for, because I feel like he has probably seen it, and it's one of those things where um, I was going to ask him, had he seen it, if he would recommending the sequel for you to watch,
Uh,
because Mary Poppins Returns definitely adds a little bit more to
oh, okay.
the discovery, and so I know we're not talking about said sequel, but um, the parent in that movie is Michael, and
Oh, okay.
his sister Jane is living with him and helping because Michael's wife has passed away, and he's got three
Oh.
kids that are a handful, and he's struggling to make ends meet and about to lose his shit. And um, lo and behold, his kids go and fly a kite that gets caught by a certain super nanny who returns to help save the day. But there's certain things that get talked about, like the years in between her leaving and her coming back
Okay.
and all of that.
I need to watch it.
It,
I just haven't gotten around to it.
for my own personal, I mean, it's not nothing against Emily Blunt and Lynn Manuel Miranda. They're not Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke,
I mean,
but
nobody is.
no,
Nobody can be Julie Andrews except Julie Andrews. Like, it's just,
yeah.
she's one of those masterpieces that God gave us to brighten the earth. Like,
Well, I mean, I would go so far as to say, you know, nobody can play Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz like Judy Garland could play Dorothy from The Wizard. You know, that's one of those
yeah,
iconic roles that, you know, they cast that person, and
it's hard to
that person
duplicate.
has been ingrained in our psyche for the better part of, you know, what, 61 years since the movie came out.
Yeah,
So, and even long, I mean, shit, The Wizard of Oz is rapidly approaching 100 years old.
it's insane.
So, but it definitely is something. I mean, I don't think it's better or even on the same level as the original, but it's definitely something that's worth giving it a watch. at least once in your life.
I'll watch it.
And on top of it, like I like I said though, Emily Blunt is not Julie Andrews, but she does a really good job, in my opinion, of capturing the essence of who Mary Poppins is.
Nice.
So, and at the same, Lin Manuel Miranda isn't directly playing the Dick Van Dyke character, but their characters are almost mirror images of each other, and
Yeah.
he does an awesome job of capturing the essence of the Burt character as well.
I was just gonna say, I feel like he would be a good person to play that Bert role. Like, I feel like he would capture that essence really well. So you took the words right out of my
I
mouth. That's what I was thinking. So yeah, I'll watch it.
I I
I
I,
love him.
I think to capture that essence, you have to be somebody who is very classically trained, can pull off the singing and the dancing and the acting and all of that rolled into one beautiful bow. And I feel like I'm going to take a hit on this one, but the little bit that I've seen of Hamilton, I've seen enough to know that he's very talented in that type of performance.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I don't think he's that great of a singer. I think for theater, he's probably fine. And I think had he not written and produced and did whatever Hamilton, I don't know that he would have got that role based on his singing. But his dancing, his choreography, his writing, his acting like is all amazing. His voice is just mid to me, but I still think he could probably pull off Bert because he can pull off. You have to have like I think for Bert, it's got to be like a classic innocence that you have to be able to pull off. Like I could almost see someone like Michael Cera pulling that off too. Like you
yeah.
have to be able to have like the simple, innocence, but still the talent, like the singing and the dancing and whatever. So
So, speaking of the innocence of said Bert, um, let's see. Would you classify Mary Poppins as being the sole hero of the movie, or be willing to split the responsibility and sharing the responsibility between her and Bert as well?
I mean, I wouldn't split it, but he definitely shares in it. And I think, you know what? I feel like the only thing that was missing there, because he definitely, he helps her with the kids and all the magic that's going on, but then also he saves the kids by himself and brings them home. And, you know, it, I think one of my favorite things about the movie is how he lets the kids know that yes, they're feeling like our dad doesn't love us, our dad doesn't want to be around us. And so he's like, but look at all this stuff that your dad has to do, and look at all this stuff that your dad has to deal with by himself, and he needs you. Like, he gives them this lesson, and then he goes and gives the same lesson, but flips it the other way to the dad. So he's not like you think, oh, he's taking sides with the dad against the kids, and he doesn't understand. But then
No,
he goes to the dad, and he's like, your kids are going to grow up and you're going to miss their, sorry about the noise, you're going to miss their childhood and you'll never get that back. And for me, I feel like that was probably the savior moment of the movie, even though, you know, Mary Poppins kind of orchestrated all this stuff. I feel like he really is the one with the dad that really made him see the light. So yeah, they're both definitely, you don't get one without the other. I guess I know this is too much to ask, but you get that whole, I mean, it's like a 20-minute scene of just the two of them doing stuff and got the penguins waiting on him and having all these songs. Like I kind of wished that it was a little more romantical, but then I know that would take away from the point of the movie, which is bringing the kids and the parents closer together. But it would have been nice.
Yeah.
Like I get the feeling that they team up all the time. Like this isn't their first rodeo together. So it would have been nice if they had had like maybe a little bit more of a romantic connection, but that's just me being me wanting that kind of plot. And I get it doesn't fit, but
Well, because here's the other point. I feel like if this had been done maybe late 60s, early 70s, like sequelized back then, when
mm-hmm.
it should have been done, you know, then the Lin Manuel Miranda character probably wouldn't have been an original character, probably would have been Bert again. I kind of feel like recasting a second major iconic character from that movie may have been something that the audience couldn't get on board for. It was already going to be
Yeah,
tough enough with giving away that role to Emily Blunt, even with Julie Andrews endorsing her. But
right,
it's still, I mean, for a lot of people, this movie is a huge part of their childhood.
right,
So, for nostalgia purposes, it probably would have been a little bit harder to. But neither way, it doesn't still ruin the movie at all. Um, but I think for me, my opinion was is that I almost see Bert being more of the savior in this movie than Mary Poppins.
yeah.
I think, like you were saying, she facilitates all of the mystical, magical wonderment that is, venturing into the chalk pictures and tea parties on the ceiling and, dancing. Well, I get dancing on the rooftops. It would be more of a Bert thing because
I
they
mean,
all
yeah,
sat
he did
her.
all the chimney sweep stuff.
So, and technically, nothing magical about the chimney stuff happened until Mary Poppins walked.
No, that's fair.
She had just walked in and said, "Hey,"
And then there goes
and
Michael
all
up
of
the
a
chimney.
sudden they turn. Yep, zoop. So,
Bye.
and that and I don't care. Even as an adult, that is still probably one of my all-time favorite musical numbers from a movie.
A step in
Is
time.
the song and dance routine on the rooftop.
Yeah, that's good.
So, even
I
to
mean,
the extent that I lied to Harvey and told him that you personally requested that he recreate that scene on the episode today.
that'd be awesome.
So, that he'd probably break a hip though.
I know I would.
Love you, Harvey. Mean it. Uh,
I
that's
mean,
why I
Bert
made the
definitely
comment that
saved.
you're not allowed.
Bert definitely is the one who got through to the dad. And it almost bums me out that Mary Poppins gets the credit for it. Like first of all, I don't understand why his whole getting fired scene looked like he was marching to his death. Like it was very very dark. I was like, okay, they're not going to murder him. He's just getting fired. But I love that he
I
has
mean,
that moment and he's just like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. And he's like, Mary Poppins gets all the credit. And yeah, that's cool for that word, but Bert's the one who was like,
The
"You're
one that
missing
sat
out
him
on your
down and
childhood."
yeah,
Like,
he's the one that sat down with him after they came back down the chimney, and he's like, "Dude, if you
explain
don't
yourself.
open your eyes and realize what the hell you're doing, you know, these kids are growing up, and every day that you give away is a day you're never going to get back."
Right.
And long and short of it, I can't think of a parent right off the top of my head that doesn't at least sporadically have these moments where, you know, they wish they could go back in time and relive this moment from their child or their child's youth or that moment or, you know,
Yeah.
whatever the case may be. You know, you see it all the time on social media where people are posting, you know, blank, blank, blank years ago, and then you've got, you know, the old school picture, and not putting anybody down by saying this, so don't think I am, but you know, and then you have like the modern day picture right next to it, and all of that, you know, the remembrances of days gone by,
Yeah.
children with, you know, headphones on singing "Beat It" and all of that. Not to bring up sore
um,
subjects.
oh, it's not. Yeah, it's a great video. Oh,
That's
wow.
one of my absolute favorite videos that you ever made with that kid. So
Yeah, it's sh- she's got some classics, that's for sure. Um, okay, so there's one thing, okay, I think probably the thing that bothers me most about the movie that I maybe I'm missing something because I didn't grow up with it again, like I said, like it just wasn't a movie I watched a lot, but I have a really hard time reconciling not knowing where all this magic is coming from. Like people aren't usually magic just because they are. There's always some kind of catalyst. Like, there's no like ring, like in Lord of the Rings, there's no like, magic beans. There's no this is where her magic comes from and this is how she does it. And it's not like I need it all explained, but I need to know how and or why she's able to create this magic. And that really annoys me. But that's just me being annoyed about something stupid
well,
probably.
I mean, I don't necessarily think you're wrong, and I won't speak ill of you for feeling that way. Um,
I mean, maybe it just doesn't matter, but it bugged me a little bit. I wanted a resolution to that.
that's that's the way your brain works, though. You like to have everything,
That's true.
Pearl,
Pearl, say hi, Pearl.
logically explain. You know, XYZ, LMNOP, ABC is easy as one, two, three.
Easy peasy
So,
lemon squeezy.
um, if you had to pick a favorite character from this movie, which is the only stipulation is it cannot be somebody who the movie is named after.
Okay. Wasn't gonna be anyway, actually, but
Who would your favorite character from this movie be?
Bert. I love Bert. Again, he's so
Yeah,
innocent and sweet and whimsical and artistic and fun and just like if Bert's around, you're gonna have a good time. And maybe even learn
he's
something.
carefree, happy-go-lucky, for lack
And
of a
he's a
better term. To steal a phrase about the Twinjas, he has zero fucks to give,
yeah,
but yet he still gives a fuck because you know he's there like when the kids run away from the bank, he's granted accidentally bumps into them, but still, if he had zero fucks to give, he'd be like, "Get the fuck away from me! I'm going about my business. I've got chimney jobs to do and all of that." But he still takes the kids in and takes them home and saves them and agrees
He has so
to,
much wisdom.
clean their he's a wise man, but in a whimsical way.
Yeah,
And on top of it, he, you know, can sing, he can dance.
he can draw.
Dick Van Dyke can perform like a motherfucker. He can draw and all of that. So
He
I
can
would
ride
probably agree with you.
carousel horses really fast. Like, he can
Evidently
sweep
not as
a
fast
chimney.
as Mary Poppins, though.
He can sweep my chimney.
No comment.
Is that who you would pick too? I'm guessing, or no?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Dick Van Dyke in this movie is probably the thing that got me interested the most in um, performance,
Hmm.
not necessarily, you know, stage, movie performance, and all of that. So definitely hats off to
Yeah.
Mr. Van Dyke for that. So
Bert's the soul of this movie, in my opinion, the heart and soul. I mean, obviously Mary
he
Poppins
really
too.
is.
He's just yeah.
It's a hard time to give somebody the heart and soul of a movie when they're still going around like they have a stick up their ass.
Yeah.
And
But she's also in the business of being a second parent and or raising children. And so yes, she wants to give them the lessons and be fun and all of this stuff, but at the end of the day, she's the one that's been put in charge of their behavior, of their upbringing, of how they behave. And so she has to teach them the way to be. So she's got to be strict. Like I get it, but she does her best to turn lessons into fun. You know, the
oh yeah,
spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down. Like she tries, but at the end of the day, Bert doesn't have any responsibility for these kids. He gets to share his wisdom and the fun and all the things, but at the end of the day, if something goes wrong, it's not on him, it's on her. So I get it.
and then go home at the end of the day.
Right.
Well, I mean, she gets to go home at the end of the day too. The day being the end of the movie.
Oh, I was gonna say no, only every second Tuesday of the month. But yeah, so she has more
Good point.
responsibility for their outcome. So I don't get mad at her about it. You know, it's her job.
Good point. So that's, I believe, all the discussion stuff that I had. If there was anything else that you had that you wanted to bring up,
No, not really. Other than who names their
otherwise,
dog Andrew?
not me. I mean,
I love you. Peaches, peaches, you gotta turn off your ringer. Now that song's gonna be in my head. And now I can't hear you. Oh, the only other thing I was gonna say is that I feel like the people that wrote this had to be on drugs. Like, I think everybody was just on drugs in the 60s because there's no way these people weren't high when they made some of this movie. Just saying. Not complaining, just a statement.
yeah, because some of this stuff I don't remember it being in the book per se,
I didn't read the book.
and I think that's where P.L. Travers and Walt Disney
Mm,
butted heads because evidently he was ruining her book when
mm,
he bought the rights and tried to make the movie that he made,
interesting.
subject of the movie Saving Mr. Banks.
Which I still need to
So
watch.
It's not a bad movie. It can be slow at times, but
Yeah, I could see that.
you know.
But
So,
all right,
are you ready for top fives?
I am.
Would you like to go numero uno?
Why not? So I did. Um, I'm glad because the topic that you have is actually one that I considered, but I went with a different one, so I'm glad. Mine
Whoop,
is
whoop.
top 5 psychedelic kids movies, aka movies you should watch high that are made for children. So, I have two honorable mentions before I get into my top 5, and those are Coraline and Dumbo. I need to watch Dumbo high. I've convinced myself I got to do it. Um,
I actually need to watch the live action version of that because it's a Tim Burton movie
it wasn't
and I
it,
haven't done it
it
yet.
wasn't terrible, but
I yeah, I've got opinions about the live action Disney
I
remakes,
know,
and that's a lot of the reason why I haven't because I loved Dumbo a lot when I was a kid.
me too.
So
I would
that's
say
why.
I would still put Lion King in last place, but I think this would be Dumbo would be second to last for me as far as the live action remakes that I've seen go. I haven't seen Little Mermaid. I haven't seen the new Snow White, so I can't compare those.
Oh, Brandy and her kids watched the live action
Yeah, I
Snow White the
saw
other
she posted about it. I wanted to ask her, but
day. Yeah, she was not impressed.
I have feelings about it. So, but yeah. Anyway, okay. So, my number 5 is Fantasia. Um, it there's not dialogue, and I don't even think you need it. Just have a gummy and watch Fantasia, and I think you'd be all over the place. Mary Poppins came in at number 4. I think it's a strong one, but I had a few that I thought would be better. Number 3, Never Ending Story. Number 2, Alice in Wonderland. And I'm assuming you can guess my number 1. Maybe not.
Psychedelic kids movies.
Yeah.
Halloween.
No. The Wizard of Oz.
Oh well, that'd be a freaking. Oh wow,
Yeah. I mean, there's literally
that needs.
psychedelic drugs in the movie. So,
Yes, there is.
I mean,
Go
Mary
figure.
Poppins gave the kids rum punch, so you got that going for it. But
Very true.
I mean, my mom gave me hot toddies when I was 6. So I know that's not a thing parents do anymore, really. But I mean, if you wanted your kids to go to sleep,
Hey,
give them a little booze. No, I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying.
I mean, at the end of the day, what's the name of the song? A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
Exactly.
So, um,
So now I have a
I
list
w-
of movies to watch with gummies.
that could be an interesting topic to do for Disciples.
Hmm.
Top
Especially
five
if
movies
we all
to
do
watch
it and
high.
report back.
Woo!
Like you can't just make the list, you have to do it and then bring your list and bring your experience with it. We could get Shanna in on that. That would be fun.
Yeah. Oh Lord. Oh Jesus God. Could you imagine Shanna watching a psychedelic movie on gummies?
Yeah. I need to get some gummies because I think it's about to get real difficult here. Texas passed a bill banning all consumable hemp and THC products unless they're CBD. And I am guessing that it's going to be strict because, like right now, the things I ordered don't come from Texas, obviously, and they're not. I mean, they're Delta 9. so it's like not totally illegal. But I'm guessing once Greg Abbott actually signs this, which he will, um,
Of course he will. He's
it'll be like porn. We won't be able to get it here anymore. Even ordering it online.
if you thought Mary Poppins had a stick up her ass,
Mm.
that stick is all the way up Greg Abbott's ass.
I wish it would punch through his brain so we wouldn't have to deal with him anymore. But I digress. What's your top five?
I have top 5 live action Disney movies from my childhood.
Nice.
So, I don't have an honorable mention, but I do have a top 5. I went with the original number 5, the original black and white version of The Absent Minded Professor,
Oh, okay.
which would go on to become Robin Williams' Flubber.
Oh, okay.
Um, the original The Love Bug.
Oh, Herbie.
I love the Herbie movies.
I did too as a kid. I haven't seen any in forever, but I fucking loved those movies. I'm gonna have to go rewatch that.
Not as much the Lindsay Lohan version, but
Oh, I didn't see that one.
I'll still
Blasphemy.
I could still sit through the classic old school the Herbie or a, a movie to watch freaking high.
Yeah. My brother and I, we had a cassette tape that my mom had taped movies on. And it had The Love Bug, Benji, and Savannah Smiles, which I don't know if anybody knows Savannah Smiles. That is like the most obscure movie ever, but it was one of our favorites. We would watch that tape all the time.
Oh, my childhood.
Oh, and Benji. Such a good movie. Anyway, super old.
Let's see. Number 3 is not necessarily a childhood movie. I mean, I don't necessarily think it's that appropriate for a child, but you know, it is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Number 2 was technically questionable with it being live action or not, but the original Pete's Dragon.
Okay.
The dragon is animated, and everybody else is
I
live
guess that's fair.
action.
Yeah, that's fair. Pete's Dragon
So
could be added to that psychedelic list too.
yes, it could. Um, and then number 1, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
There you go.
So,
Very nice. All
oh,
right.
so what are your overall thoughts of said movie?
So, like I said, I think I get why it's nostalgic for people. Like, what is wrong?
Oh, I'll text you after the
Oh,
show.
okay. Um, I think if I had watched it more as a kid, I probably would have liked it. There were parts of it that dragged for me watching it again, just because I think I don't have the nostalgia factor. There's some things about it that bug me, but overall, it's a fun movie. Um, some of the green screen effects are really bad, but again, it's 1964, so I'm not gonna, you know, you worked with what you had to
Bitch and
work
moan.
with.
Exactly.
Oh, were you looking at the news alert about the Food Network person? Yeah, I got that too. Yeah, upset about that. Okay. Um, I I'm gonna be a little more generous than I intended, and I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 spoonfuls of sugar.
You son of an onion.
Okay, fine. I'll give it 4 out of 5 chimney sweepers.
Well, no, I mean you can go with spoonfuls of sugar
That was the easy one.
because I can come up with something else on
Okay.
while I'm going down my list of bullet points. But um, to me, the movie is pure nostalgia. It's part of my joyous childhood. It's a heartfelt movie. To me, it's a timeless classic. It's funny yet cheesy. Um, it's insanely sing alongable.
Yeah.
Like the list of songs in that movie, I would put almost on the same level as like the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
It, a movie with a musical with that many songs that people know and sing along to is yeah unheard of.
I think I would put Sound of Music above this, though.
No, Sound of Music is also
Also,
on that
Julie
list.
Andrews.
Yes, it is. Um, I, for me, Julie Andrews and Dick Van Dyke both give amazing performances, and
Definitely.
all of that. Um, I'm not going to be a horror with my rating, but I'll go a smidge lower, and I'm going to go 4.75 steps in time
Aw, good one.
because I was going to go with spoonfuls of sugar, but
Sorry.
we had a Guma moment.
As we
So
do.
more often than not. Um, but we can't end the episode obviously without um, thanking the listeners for being here each and every week. Our unpopped kernels are awesome. They're amazing. They're incredible. They're all the adjectives rolled into one. Well, they're not certifiably fuckable, but you know,
I mean, I'm sure
I don't
some
know.
of them
Maybe they are. Um, but yeah, I enjoyed watching rewatching again the movie. So definitely 100%. Thank you to the now invisible co-host for recommending Classic Hollywood Month for us. I don't want to know what you were doing off camera.
just, you know,
Living life.
yeah, living the dream. Sorry, I'm having some
So,
allergy issues.
oh,
I didn't think anybody wanted to see me cough up stuff.
yeah.
Exactly. That would not be
So,
supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
no, but it would mean that you need a spoonful of sugar to help the medicine go down.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, anyway, coming up on an evening at the movies, we've got The Wolfman tomorrow
Yup.
with Misty and Luana. We'll be here for that.
Excited.
Um, we have Goldfinger coming up with Papa Palpatine as soon as we can get that scheduled. We are rolling into Summerween with
Woo!
I Know What You Did Last Summer, Friday the 13th Part 2, Jaws. I believe we had another movie picked, and I didn't go and look, but
Do because it was another summertime movie. I'll have to go back and look.
while while I'm talking, I will also crossing fingers, but Kevin is supposed to be back with us in July, and he's going to bring a horror movie for us to watch and discuss that hopefully is not rubber.
I
Just saying.
don't think we're doing that again. It
Uh-huh.
it chapter one.
It chapter one.
Yep.
I literally I have all the pictures saved for
Oh,
publicity, and
nice.
I was scrolling down and bam, Georgie with the freaking clown over his head. Um, After Kevin's Choice, though, we'll Hitchcock in August, Wes Craven tribute in August, and then the obvious Stephen King birthday bonanza in September, Halloween Horror Fest 2025 in October, and I'm not even going to go. Gone. I fooled around long enough. So thank you guys for being here. This was a lot of fun. Thank you, co-host, for being here.
Of course.
I'm going to zip my lip and let you end the show.
All
So
right. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode about Mary Poppins. Hope it brought you back some memories and some nostalgia and all that good stuff. And have a great day. And we hope you all come back for an evening at the movies. Goodbye.
peace and a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down, and hair grease.
Blech.